My local electric company has been considering the idea of switching their billing from a flat rate model to one where rates are lower during low demand hours of the day and more expensive during higher demand periods. I'll show you my simple way of getting the lower rates even during times when electricity costs the most. The first thing I want to do is measure one of my electrically demanding appliances for specific measurements that will be helpful to know later in this process. I specifically need to measure voltage, average amps, and average watts. In this chart I created, I took measurements from 3 different products and noted down these numbers. Using this, I'm trying to decide what level of power station could run each of the products listed individually. For now, I'm starting small with just my AC, then over time, I'll get larger power stations that work better with the more electrically demanding appliances. The Vornado seemed a little too small for this project, and although the fridge seemed to produce small numbers, at some point during measuring, an alarm sounded from my kilowatt that warned of a high amount of current being drawn. Because of this, I'm skipping the fridge for now. Of the available options for EcoFlow power stations, I went with the one that is just over the maximum watts used by my AC. This might be a risky choice because the maximum output for this power station is 500 watts, which could be affected by voltage sag as the batteries are depleted. I'm also not sure what would happen if the AC draws too much power. If I find the draw is too much, though, I'll use this power station for something else and go with a different power station that's more likely to handle the AC's power draw. Here's the EcoFlow that I was lucky enough to find locally at Sam's Club. My idea using this power station is to have it store electricity by charging it from a wall outlet or grid electricity during the hours of the day when electricity rates are the cheapest. Based on existing electric company documentation, that would be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At the same time, I'd also be using my household appliances off of normal grid electricity. When 5 p.m. rolls around, I'd move the electrically demanding appliances off of grid electricity and onto the power station to avoid being charged triple or double the daytime rate. I'm initially starting out by manually switching from grid to power station electricity, but I do have some ideas in mind for automating this process that I'm hoping I can implement towards the end of this video. So I've been testing the EcoFlow for the past couple of days. It's been unusually warm overnight in early May. When I do use the AC overnight, I set the timer on the AC to run for 2 or 3 hours, after which time it shuts off. What I've been noticing is that when I wake in the morning to check on the EcoFlow, it's always at 75%. I initially thought for the 2 hours the AC ran that it only used up 25% of the EcoFlow's capacity. I later found what happened was the EcoFlow was cutting power to the AC when it got down to 75% remaining capacity. This might be due to too much power being drawn by the AC. I'll have to do some testing to see what's going on. I ran this test with the AC running off of the EcoFlow and was surprised that during testing, the EcoFlow did not shut down at 75% remaining capacity. In fact, it ran down to 5% remaining capacity where it would normally shut down because the batteries are getting too low. Also, I ran this test twice with the exact same results each time. I didn't notice anything in the documentation about having to break in the EcoFlow upon first using it, but it now seems to be working fine. The EcoFlow I just tested might be a little too underpowered for powering my air conditioner, but now I know what size will work for my purposes. Here's a drawing of what I plan to set up for each appliance that's running off of a power station. How it'll work is I'll plug one of my smart outlets into my home outlet. I can then program one of the outlets to turn on and off at specific times that match the low usage rates of my electric company. I'll plug the power station into this outlet so that it'll charge its batteries only when the outlet is turned on by the timer. The appliance connected to the power station will run off of it 24/7. I've set up my first EcoFlow powered appliance, which I chose to be my television. My electric company's multifaceted rates haven't started yet, but when they do, I should be prepared with many more similar setups waiting to take advantage of the lower rate, and I don't even have solar yet. If there are any questions or comments you may have, leave them in the comment section down below. That's all I have for now, and I'll catch you in the next video.